It's the year 2025, and apparently developers have not yet understood that putting characters that do percentage HP max damage into their gacha games that like to scale the difficulty based off of how much damage their enemies do and how much health they have is a very bad thing to put inside of their game. And apparently XD Entertainment did not get that memo.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you,
we don't care.
Even though, well, they're kind of using the base framework for so many games that came before them that also fell into the same trap. Jade Scorpion from Epic 7, Curious from Epic 7, everything in Summoner's War now being immune to poison. Who would have seen this?
How? How did they think that was okay to even put it in the game? I'm so sick of this.
And if at least one developer that worked on Etheria Restart played those games, they probably would have figured out that that was a problem. So the main thing here is Shadow Sania's indirect nerf in Aurora. We want to talk about that and a couple of other Shadow nerfs in this video. And the main thing I want to talk about is both camps, I think, are absolutely stupid over this. You have the one camp saying that Shadow Sania is irrelevant now. I only used it to work on Aurora. It's crazy. I demand compensation. I demand all of my money back. I demand etc. blah 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 blah.
I don't like where this is going.
And there's also the other side saying that the nerf is absolutely irrelevant, which it's not. The nerf's not irrelevant. What the nerf does tell me is this, is that there is a severe lack of incompetence when it comes to, well, foreseeing how your players are going to operate in your game. And this happens in every game, not even video games. It happens in every aspect of, well, human life. We all like to find the easiest road to the end.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
And when you have a gacha game like Etheria Restart, like I said before, where the difficulty of the content scales with numbers, whether they're faster and take more turns, they're tankier, they have more health, they have more defense, or they just do more damage to you. Each of these stats is part of the difficulty scaling in an RPG game. And having something that can just do percentage HP damage really will mess with how you can develop content in your game. And we've already seen that right now in a brand new game, even Etheria Restart, not even 2 weeks old. The PvE content is pretty much dominated by Shadow Sania.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
So what does this mean for the nerf? Now the nerf is going to be about the Aurora boss fight. The Aurora boss fight, I do believe in earlier closed betas, actually was immune to damage over time effects. In the final beta, it just kind of wasn't, as far as the information I could pull up for was. And then that just kind of met its way and made its way into the live version of the game. Now, what does that mean? This change of them nerfing it. Are they going to nerf Shadow Sania again? Is it a necessary change? And should you be upset about it? Now, the main thing I would be upset about them nerfing it for is one big reason. I think it's kind of irrelevant, and I think it's a stupid decision. Does it ruin the character? It takes her out of being able to do one of the pieces of content in the game that she should be good at, which is PvE content. It's, well, what a percentage HP damage character excels at in every gacha game, whether it's Epic 7 with the Jade Scorpion or Curious for Abyss or Poison in Summoner's War as well, to the point where they've had to make every piece of PvE content immune to poison for the most part in other gacha games with similar design and combat styles to Etheria Restart. That's why I said you didn't catch the memo. It's just a very bad thing to have in your game. So on one side you have, oh, my character's absolutely useless. No, she's not. She's just useless in one aspect of PvE and potentially absolutely broken in every other farmable aspect of PvE. Huh? The other team is saying that it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter that she got nerfed. It's fine.
The game is broken, EA Sports. The game is broken.
It's semi-true that it's irrelevant that she got nerfed because it's only one thing. But the real reason why it's not irrelevant is it really shows me as a consumer of the product, it shows me a little bit of incompetence, because as someone who's played a couple of these games before and I've been around this gacha game scenario like we've talked about, it's not a brand new thing. This is not something you had to go and figure out for yourselves and oops, my bad, my mistake. No, it's been around, this sort of problem, for like 10 plus years now. It's been a problem in every game with the percentage HP dot character. And it gets exacerbated when you have a character who can detonate the dots as well, like with Jade Scorpion in Epic 7. And wouldn't you know it, Etheria Restart XD Game says, yeah, let's just throw that in there at the start. What could go wrong? I'm not sure.
And I've decided that I want to die.
So that's what it shows me. It shows me a little bit of incompetence there. As far as the nerf goes, they did respond and they are going to allow you to reset characters. They're bringing the Hyper League reconfiguration event back once again. So if you don't want to use your Shadow Sania, you want to reconfigure it and make her a level 0 character on your account, that'd be a very terrible decision considering she's the best PvE character in the game still to this date, to the point where it's warping and will warp the ability for players to quickly farm up the best gear and makes it more efficient for you energy-wise and resource-wise than anyone else.
The cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
She is a gatekeeper of access to quick, powerful gear. If you're looking to farm something like Health 4 or Inferno, she's the way, she's the ticket. And I dare say that if you're someone who's looking to push high rank PvP, high rank guild union, guild fights, guild war, we'll call it. I forget what it's called, union something. We'll call it guild war. If you're looking for pushing top ranks in that right now, Shadow Sania is probably a must have on your account.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
And having access to Shadow Sania allows you to skip the points where the game is like, you really need to go farm up some better substat gear and get some set bonuses together on red tier gear. And then it becomes, then you really need to get that for everybody. And then you can go farm Inferno. Shadow Sania says, no, we're just going to keep some of our okay stuff. I don't need to go farm Health 3 a ton. I don't need to go farm Health 4 a ton. I just need to focus on a little bit of speed, a little bit of HP, a little bit of defense, get the right main stats for my gear, a little bit of sub speed rolls there, bring some tankiness, bring some healing, and the damage over time mechanic will help me scale with the inflated health of all of the new enemies. As long as I can keep up with the incoming damage and the speed of the enemy, I can always keep up with the damage I need to do to farm these various endgame bosses, because that's really what Etheria Restart's farming at the end is. It's, you need to kill it as quickly as possible because the bosses sort of rage out pretty quickly and the damage is almost insurmountable. And Shadow Sania allows you to keep up with the damage you need to do with all of the dots she stacks, especially if you have access to Lily, as well as focus on the HP, defense, and speed, which is primarily just through some main and substats on your different gear loadouts. So she is an insane character still, and at the end of the day, I think both of those far takes of, it's crazy she got nerfed, I'm quitting, you have the best character to farm still, so I guess go ahead and quit, or, it's irrelevant that she got nerfed, it doesn't matter, are both bad takes. The real take here is my take, which is, it's upsetting because it is so irrelevant, and it's upsetting because it really shows me that you might not quite know exactly what you're putting into your game and how that might affect the longevity of what's going on. And I'm using the term longevity of your game on a game that's 12 days old.
Emotional, damn it!
The other two shadow nerfs weren't that big of a deal. Something like Terramatan getting access to resistant to combat readiness pushback on it. Not that big of a deal. I don't know why that got added to the game. The game's out. The game's gone through like 5 friggin' closed betas already. You don't need to magically make the game a little bit harder, especially once a good portion of your player base is hitting that Hell 2 to Hell 3 sort of bump where they need to go farm up some Hell 2 gear. Maybe they just got enough to get up to Hell 3. Oh, now the CR pushback's not as good on the characters I was using, which means the boss takes 1 or 2 extra turns, which is just enough to kill me. And there's no reason for that. I think that's a stupid change as well. The one change that I'm not super mad at is the change in the fight that everyone's using Xiada to steal an unstrippable buff, which is going to be the Doki Doki fight, phase 2. The big main boss in the middle of phase 2 had a buff that you could be taking with your Xiada, and that would allow you to quickly clean that fight up. That one is pretty much just a bug fix. Technically, the not being able to debuff Aurora one is a bug fix as well, although it's not really. That's how you launch the game. That's technically just buffing the boss now, let's be honest, with the same sort of way that you buffed Terramatan, allowing it to be resistant to pushbacks. Now, my main grievance against XD Entertainment slash, Etheria Restart here is, like I said, I'm not really sort of with you guys anymore. You got the one strike on the are you gonna make it or are you gonna break it train.
This is my favorite one so far. Nice job, team.
And now they did respond here. They do have some things they want to say about balance adjustments. And they're not going to do any more balance adjustments until it's a window between an RTA season. And that's very good because, well, Etheria Restart is very PvP focused. It is very PvP focused. If you don't like doing PvP, you might not like this game at all. The PvE is there. I know they wanted to rope in those Honkai Star Rail players with the main storyline that you kind of walk around and do stuff. That is there. That's sort of like the side thing of the game and not really the main focus of the game, in my opinion. Because if you've played Etheria Restart, you looked at the RTA shop and the PvP shops, they want you to play a fair amount of games to get your currency. And the shop stuff that you get is crazy good. It's not gear and stuff, but there's a lot of progression materials. There's a lot of materials that you can gain in there that are pretty rare and significantly impactful to the way that you can level your characters, right? We're talking about things like lattices and things to increase the max rank of your character. Things that you'd be like, as you're playing the game for the first few hours, like, man, I'm never going to get these. There's a ton of them in the RTA shop just for winning. You do get some bonus points for winning, but if you're not super into it, the main bulk of the rewards that you can get from the points is, well, just for participating in the shop as well. So this is a big deal that they're going to do a hard, fast commitment to no longer changing characters unless it's between the RTA season. What this does mean, though, is they need to be very, very careful and prudent with what they release into the game. So I don't want to see some crazy character coming out all of a sudden, right? Middle of the RTA season. Oh, it's too broken. I'd be quitting.
Out of here. Get out of here, man.
Next one, dude, we're going to have a blessing galore of event optimization. This is going to be a double drop rate thing. Everyone's been looking forward to it. I don't know why they put this into this post about people getting mad about the changes and nerfs. Who cares? And they gave an apologization code for 10 Etheria coins. The other thing that they did do is that they are also allowing you to do an Animus reconfiguration event on Monday, which is, today. Now, this other one is one of the main complaints that got answered. And honestly, I'm just going to say it right now. If you were someone who was like, my Shadow Sania got nerfed, I need to be able to reconfigure her for free.
Good job.
You were just bitching and super short-sighted because she is the gatekeeper of good gear in this game still. She just can't do it on one fight. You do it for all of Terror Shells, and then Terramatan as well, if you are so inclined, as well as cleaning up some of the other good content in the game. But the fact that she is one of the most efficient, if not the most efficient ways to quickly start farming terror difficulty shells is crazy, because the shells are the most overpowered things you can increase on your characters, and they will dictate the strength of your account, and she is the character for that. So guess what? If you just reconfigured her, I'll see you back with your Shadow Sania in 2 minutes after you get done watching this video, I'm sure.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
So if you want to reconfigure her, go right on ahead. You can go try someone else out, but I know you'll be back with Shadow Sania again, because the data shows, if you go check anything in the game, she is just #1, and that's what we're going to be covering too, is just how much of a dictator Shadow Sania is in this game. And I don't understand why XD Entertainment did not see that. But at the end of the day, a lot of these changes I disagree with, because, well, it's in the first week. The only one I can really get behind is the Doki change. The Terramatan change is stupid. The Aurora change is also stupid. If you were mad that they, changed it, and you were so knee-jerked mad that you just wanted to get rid of your Shadow Sania, also a stupid decision. At the end of the day, it's just been a lot of stupid knee-jerk reactions from both the player base as well as the developer themselves. This is strike one, though, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to Etheria Restart. Hopefully, they can sort of maintain a steady pace forward, but there is going to be one big problem right now, and I hinted on it before. If you're sitting there trying to become top tier ASAP in PvP, whether it's RTA, Arena, or Guild War right now, unless you're already somehow farming Terror without Shadow Sania on your account, Shadow Sania would probably allow you to farm Terror. And that is a discussion for an entirely different video.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.